yourself, was Justin Johnson ever in that Mercedes? So let's go to Kristen Garner. Kristen Garner gets up here and tries to tell you that. He tries to say he didn't know the car was stolen, that Trayon was driving around in the car.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hold up, your phone breaking up a little bit. You oh, okay. You driving?
Yep, I can pull up right here in public. You just caught me coming out of the store trying to get home.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. Let me know when you get home and you get settled so we could get a constant connection.
No, I'm good. Shit. Look, folks, I ain't got nothing to do. I can sit here run my mouth. I'm good.
All right, all right. So give us a hold on, let me make sure they can hear you. Let me check your levels. Say something.
Hello?
Yeah, let me see. Yo, how can y'all hear? Can y'all hear good? Give me some barely.
Barely. You can hear me?
Hold on, let me see if I could turn you up. Let me give you a boost. Hold on, y'all.
I'm going to take my earpiece off to try to help a little bit. Wait a minute. Okay, what about now?
Yeah. What
Much
she
better?
yeah, what hold on, talk, say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I hear you good. I'm making sure they can hear you. It's like it's tricky, but I got it.
Okay.
All right, bet. Yeah, you clear now. We good.
Okay.
All right, so hold on. Let me let you start over. Can you let the people know who you are and I guess let them know, what you want to let them know about your background, and then let's just go into talking about, the trial and whatever you want to bring to the table.
Okay, sure. So I know Fani Willis,
Whoa.
the acting DA. I used to work in the DA's office. Okay, I was there from 97 to I think I left like in beginning of 2015. Paul Howard, that's who my boss was, and I worked in the records department. We was on the third floor, and of course, all of the trial attorneys was on the fourth floor. And I think Fannie wound up moving upwards. Like I don't think she did. Yeah, she did murder cases. I think here and there, but Fannie is a damn good trial attorney. Her I's are dotted, T's are crossed. I know how she moves. I know a lot of the judges and attorneys. I know Brian Steele. He's
Uh-huh.
always been defense attorney. I know Carlton Williams. He's another defense attorney. Always have been. Um, didn't I never met Sharp or the other defense attorneys. Now, Love was there. I was told by my other old constituents that I do know. They said that she was there when I was getting ready to leave or whatever, but she never came downstairs or whatever because she had this bougie type nose up in the air type of individual. And one of my old coworkers, she told me about her, whatever. Said she just nasty or whatever. But I don't know anybody else. But I'm very, very disappointed in Fannie, and I would have never in a million years thought that she would fuck up, if you will. I never thought that she would take that and then just mess up. She Whew, a lot of my old colleagues are really talking about this in the past, and a lot of this stuff that she got going on has come to surface. Drama has always been in the DA's office. Let me be abundantly clear. And from my understanding, that Paul Howard, he was not going to try this YSL case. This was one of the cases that sat on his desk. There
Right.
always been a backlog, even when I was there. There were a backlog of cases, and a lot of cases that he chose not to prosecute. Now, if he wasn't going to prosecute the case or whatever, he should have just threw it out and
Mm.
just did a decline to prosecute. That's something that is normally done when, even if it's not enough evidence to prove, they'll go on. But I look at this particular case, and I feel like somebody wants to shine on them. And it just brings back memories when the Ray Lewis case was here in Atlanta after the Super Bowl. Paul
Mm.
Howard is not a trial attorney, and he damn sure could never do a murder case. And when he took that case from Clint Rucker, you can look him up. He's damn good attorney. Now I think he's doing defense work and a judge.
Oh, Rucker. He be
For
on the TV show.
yeah, Clint Rucker. I know him too.
He the real stocky dude, light skin. Look like a
He's
football player.
married to. Yeah, he didn't play no football. That's just food. But he was, he wasn't this chunky, but he always had, had a little thickness to him or whatever. But he's a cool guy, and he was doing good with the case. He probably would have got a conviction, but because Paul Howard wanted to be in the spotlight, he fucked it up. And I think it was his attorney, Ed Garland. Well, anyway, nevertheless, they wind up having to do a deal because of what Paul did.
You
And so
sure that
that's
wasn't
how come.
intentional?
Who knows?
You do know
Who-
Ray Lewis won the Super Bowl the next year, right?
Yeah.
You do know I'm from Baltimore, and I felt like that was fishy. Like
Well,
I felt like it was fishy.
And could have, but because I know who Paul Howard is, who he is. If he had left that case alone and let Clint do his job, I would say 85% it would have been a conviction because he was on it. And when you have this big superstar that comes into the county, and with everything that happened, and like I say, Clint, damn good prosecutor. If you look at that case, then you will see where I'm coming from. You get bits and pieces. You will see where it comes from. Well, what I'm saying. But because Paul Howard wanted to be in that spotlight, this is what happened. This is what you get. So he had no choice but to do some type of a plea and drop. I think they dismissed a couple of the charges, and he was able to walk free.
Right. He
was able to walk.
Paul Howard didn't take that short of a, like, he didn't take a short for that, did he? Like, he kept his job, right?
Paul Howard?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, he did. I mean, I think it's the mayor and the governor that can remove a DA.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that was so many years ago, like for real.
All right.
Even with a lot of the mishap with Fulton County when the Brian Nichols case kicked in, I was there with that.
I was going to ask you that. It's like you read my mind. I was definitely ready to roll right to that. I swear.
Oh, listen, that was one of the most horrific experiences I could have ever had in my life.
So you was in the court that day?
Well, actually,
at the DA's?
I was running late for work that morning, and typically my ex-husband would let me off on the other side of the building, which is 185. But I had to run an errand, and he was like, "You want me to take you around?" I said, "No, I'll just get off on Pryor Street side." So I got out the car, getting ready to walk up the steps. As I walked up the steps and grabbed the door, it was on a Friday because it's grand jury day. And when all of the officers, and they're coming from different municipalities, and they go for grand jury. But at any rate, as soon as I grabbed the door, one of the deputy sheriffs came straight to the door and pushed me out the way and was like, "You can't come in, you can't come in." And before I knew it, all the officers, they running out with their guns cocked, and they just running and jumping all off the steps and shit, and they just taking around like, what the hell is going on? So my coworker, she always come outside on her smoke break, and I want to say it's maybe like 8:30ish, no, close to 9 o'clock. I'm gonna say that, coming outside for her 15-minute break, and she couldn't go back in. This was March. It was kind of cool, but I called upstairs and I'm like, y'all, what the fuck is going on? It was like, we just heard the judge got shot. Speaking of Judge Barnes, who was a magnificent judge, very fair. Everybody loved him. And I'm like, what? It was like, well, Shannon, what's going on outside? I'm like, girl, there's officers everywhere. What the fuck is going on? So at the same time, on the other side, mind you, Brian Nichols had already ran out, and he had shot and killed Hoyt Teasley. So everybody is running outside, and we trying to figure out what's going on. Time passing on. The sheriffs, they blocked off everything, and there was one guy, they jacked him up. They thought he was Brian Nichols. They had him like off of his feet, had his pants jacked up in the air, and wind up being the wrong person. So I know he probably pissed the shit all over himself because them to my officers was everywhere. So anyway, they let him go, and then one of the victim witness advocates, she was crying because she said that Brian Nichols had them in the parking deck, which is across the street from the courthouse, towards the right side. And she was crying, and he had carjacked a guy from Ato, took his truck, and drove towards Leonard Journal Constitution, which is on Marietta Street. I don't understand why in the hell MARTA, who is our transit system, why they didn't shut anything down. That's how he was able to get away.
What, the bus?
He beat up one of the white guys that drove a green Honda,
mm-hmm.
and took his car or whatever, and he caught the train and did what he had to do, and he left.
He caught the train.
I think that was a setup. He caught the train. Because he changed clothes. I don't know how the hell he did it.
I ain't gonna lie, catching a train in them circumstances is nuts.
It is, because because the MARTA station is in walking distance. Walking to Atlanta Journal and Constitution is in walking distance.
Yo, the train system is one of the easiest systems to shut down, yo. I don't know if you ride the train, but bro, you are in no man's land once the train start moving, y'all. You in a moving cell, just to let you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we was like kind of pissed about that. But, you know, I was shocked how everything went down. Well, not so much a shock. Everybody's complacent early in the morning, because you got people going to get breakfast, everybody trying to settle in, everybody, we know there's nothing going on, and you get lax. So it wasn't to think that something horrific like this would have taken place. However, when you have a inmate who had already got caught with shanks because he was so stupid, he didn't even realize the rape case was going to get dropped because there wasn't enough evidence.
Oh my God!
So he, Gail Abramson and Ash Joshi were the attorneys, the prosecutors on this case. So just the day before he was shanked up, they took it off of him or whatever, and then they had, I forget her name, but she's no more than maybe like 5'6", 5'7", kind of heavy-set deputy sheriff, who was guiding Nichols, getting him ready for court.
Uh-huh.
And inside of the holding cell, the holding tank, they have this box that's in there that you have to put your gun in there.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he subdued her. When I tell you, he beat the shit out of her.
He killed her.
I'm talking about. No, he didn't kill her.
Oh.
But he beat her so bad that she has to have help right to this day.
Hold on, though. You said that he had got poked up the day before?
No, he didn't, but he had like a shank on him. The sheriff found out that he had a shank on him.
Oh. All right.
And they retrieved it from him. So he beat her unconscious, and he messed her up. She can talk, but she's messed up in the head now. She can never work again or anything. And to say that Fulton County really didn't take care of her. I'm not certain if she took a lawsuit, but it was
Whoa.
really bad because I mean she had been the deputy for so many years, and it
Wow.
was like she needed therapy for so long. Bless her heart. And she was
Wow.
a butch, if you will. But he beat her. He beat her bad, and we were able to see. Well, we watched the whole trial,
Mm-hmm.
and there were pictures and sights that only employees could really see. And inside of that room, it was just blood everywhere.
Bro.
He shot Judge Barnes in the back of the head. He shot Julie. We call her the princess because she looked just like Princess Di, just like her, just as sweet as she could be. We went to her memorial. We went to Judge Barnes' memorial. Hoyt Teasley. He was laid out on the steps outside on 185, and it was just a mess. And I actually saw a picture of me in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. We was like off the sidewalk, like we were standing almost in the middle of the street, but we was like everybody was everywhere. So we stood outside like almost all day, and the DA's office has another office that was across the street. We wind up going over there, watching everything unfold on the news, and then they let us go home. I mean, we had no choice because we couldn't go inside the building. And then after that, you saw Court TV, and you saw all these other reporters stopping us, asking us how we felt. And it was a little eerie because Judge Barnes' courtroom was on the 8th floor.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just I don't even know if they still have it, if they ever reopened it
Nah,
again.
they said they took somebody in there recently to do something. Hey, yo, who they said they used that courtroom for? The one where Brian Nichols did his. We was talking to somebody. We was talking to Thug Father, and he said they used the courtroom 8. Oh, that's where they got the people from the court, the other people from the Young Thug trial at, watching the trial. The fall off
On the
people.
8th floor?
Yes, in that room.
Oh, wow. That would
Yup.
be very eerie. I wouldn't even want to go in there. I promise you I wouldn't, because I still can see how everything was. And one of the deputies, he's now retired. He couldn't even talk. He was just, because oh my God, it just breaks my heart. But he was real shaken up bad because when Brian Nichols told him, he said, "Don't even think about it," because he was going to kill him too. And he was like, "Where's Judge Barnes?" They had just went and got breakfast and
So,
went and
ho,
told
ho,
him
ho.
where he
What you
was.
saying, Brian Nichols, catch yo? He had the strap, and he could have smoked him, but he told him, chill.
Don't even think about it.
So this dude got the
Yep.
strap. This a security
Mhm.
dude. This a sheriff with the strap.
Yeah. He had the gun that he took from the other deputy, I believe. And when he went in, because like it's barely anybody in the judge's chambers,
Yeah,
because mind you, it's still early in the morning.
yeah.
So he spared his life when he took him back in the courtroom, and then he just took off. After he did what he did, he took off.
Now
So
his
it
beef
was
with the
a mess for
judge.
all of us.
His beef with the judge. What was his beef with the judge?
I don't know. I don't know because Judge Barnes he was very, very fair, and he was very cool. He just a good person. He was. And he would give people opportunities to start your life over, get it together. If you was wrong, you was wrong. He's nothing like Glanville. I'm talking about nothing
Glanville got a bad
like
name?
Glanville. Oh yeah, always been biased.
Oh, for real? Biased as in
Mhm.
against what?
Shit, against anybody, I guess.
Whoa.
Thank God I didn't go in his courtroom.
Oh.
I never got a chance to go in his courtroom.
Oh, but he that's the word. That's the vibes with Judge Glanville. Yeah, yo would
Right,
send you up the river.
right. That's
Okay.
just like the Judge Glanville, not Glanville. Damn, I almost called her name. Judge Bernadette, something like that. She was in Clayton County. Judge Benefield.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know, do not take your ass in front of Judge Benefield because she would send you up to the river. She did not play the radio. She didn't want to hear it. She didn't care. Everybody, and I think she's retired now, and I know so many folks glad that she retired. It was her and her husband were judges out there, and they was like, oh my God, she was cutthroat and worse in sentencing, worse than Judge Judy. And everybody know Judge Judy mouth. Judge Benefield, she did not care. She did not care. She would send your ass to prison. But
They asking
I
in the
don't
chat
know.
if you believe that they set up Paul Howard.
No, I don't think so. Hell no. Paul Howard had it coming.
Yeah.
He crooked as a politician. I told him to his face one day, right here at the grocery store where I am right now. I saw him after I left, and I told him to his face. He was talking to somebody who he was with, and he did a little funny laugh or whatever, and was talking about we have a funny relationship. And I looked him in the face. I said, look, what we're not gonna do is fake it. You don't like me, and I don't like you. Paul Howard was too busy fucking every broad that he could.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh, are you familiar with Fani Willis and Nut? What's the relationship?
Now that I don't know. I don't know if she, even though the word is out,
Yeah.
even with the guy who she's tied up with now and his foolishness. And I saw one of my colleagues at a restaurant, and I asked her, what the hell is going on with Fani? And she was like, Shannon, everybody knew what she was doing, and she had no choice but to admit to the relationship, because she didn't. No other attorney wanted this case with what's that? Trump, the Trump case.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, if you taking on Trump, everybody knows you got to have a clean nose, because when you dealing with a Republican and somebody of Trump's caliber, they're going to come for you with a fine tooth and comb. So with all of this coming out, I don't know, somebody told Trump, that's how he put it out there, and it went over my head. I'm like, no, not funny, not funny. And then come to find out, a lot of stuff has happened, and for me, I'm eerie about it because my dad case is still pending.
Whoa.
Finally got indicted, and I'm like, how y'all gonna treat my dad's case? And a few other coworkers that are there, I'm like, listen, you better go and ask somebody who I am. You better go ask Fani about me. And I went to see her before my dad case got indicted, and I was very pissed. And the one thing about me, I don't play the radio. I do not play the radio. Everybody know about Shannon, the girl with the blonde hair, and she's a damn fool.
Oh, you got blonde hair. I like blonde hair.
Oh yeah, it's time for me to die. But they knew me. I raised hell. They know my demeanor. They know Shannon is one not to fuck with. Oh, trust this. My dad was murdered.
Oh, well. Oh.
So now I'm on the other side of the window.
Oh, what happened?
This guy.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh no, I don't mind. It's therapeutic for me. My dad, he lived his life according to how he saw fit, and he did his drug thing or whatever. And this guy wanted to make an example, and he paid this guy $10. And the guy thought that my dad was going to be an easy fight. My dad was whooping his ass, and he got a hammer, and he beat my dad in the head with a hammer.
Whoa. Sorry
you can look
to
it up
hear
on
that.
YouTube.
What?
You can look it up on YouTube. My face is on there. You can see the whole clip on the news. I was on the news.
So hold on. This was some old street shit.
Yeah.
Super street shit.
Yeah.
He get into a fist fight. Dude grab a weapon. Now this court case, you saying that the dude got indicted and the case is coming up. So they gotta handle it. It's a murder case, a murder trial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Normally, all right. So speaking of that, normally these murder trials in Fulton County, well, normally from your experience, they don't last that long.
No, now this is the longest I've ever seen. This
Now,
is the longest case I've ever seen.
when you work there, does information come across your table?
Oh yeah, because I'm the one helping putting the case together along with the grand jury clerks.
Oh, what you mean helping?
Well, what we were doing basically, we were taking process the cases. We had cases that were no bills. We had true bills.
Oh, explain
We
that
had the
difference. Explain
indictment.
that difference for me, right there.
Okay.
No bill and true bill.
Okay, well, of course, the no bills are the ones that, once a case go in front of the grand jury, if there's not enough evidence, they'll no bill it, meaning it's not going to court. It's a wrap. It's over with.
Okay, I got you.
When you have a true bill, that's when the grand jury, each one says, "Hey, this is enough evidence
to move forward and take it to trial."
To move. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You had some cases that were indicted, go through the same process. Grand jury, well, once the officers come in, like typically it's on Tuesdays and Fridays when the officers come up there and they have the grand jury, and then they indict the cases or they accuse a case, and then that's when it goes through the process. But when you're dealing with murder cases, things of that nature, it's indicted and then it's processed. Next thing you know, an attorney, judge assigned to it, and I would say, I tell you what, it's not a year. I don't think a year or so, depending on the situation that a case is going to court.
Right. All right.
So it was typically a fast case.
So the YSL case, have you? All right. When did they start with the gang? Like, when do you remember? Because you worked there since the early 2000s, you said. When did you say you started?
From 97 to 2015 when I left.
All right, so you there before the Bloods. Before the Bloods ever came across your desk, you was there.
Yeah.
What
Even
year?
when a lot of stuff went down with Hurricane Katrina, when some of the folks that came from New Orleans,
yeah,
they thought Fulton County was a joke because they felt like they would just come up here and do shit and not be reprimanded for it. But I remember one girl came up there and she got mad at me because she was like, "Oh, this is a petty charge and they locked him up and we did this in New Orleans." And I told her she got mad at me, reported my ass. I got wrote up for that shit. Actually, I got suspended. When she made the statement where she was from, I said, "Welcome to Fulton County." I said, "We don't play that shit up here. You going to jail."
Yeah.
She got mad and told on me.
All right. So, what years you think is the first times they really start prosecuting or putting the gangs in there? Or was it neighborhood gangs before and you watched it evolve? Well, you saying around Katrina, so we talking 2005 to 7.
Well, a lot of it wasn't so heavy. You had them, but it was like gangs were there, yes. But was it the way it is now? No.
So they was just charging.
It was a difference.
They was charging people with the charge of being in a gang and doing crimes, but not actual RICOs yet.
We had them, but it wasn't like this.
Right.
It wasn't like this. I don't know when the percentages shot up. I mean, it's gangs everywhere, but it wasn't so much so that you had a lot of the gang-related shootings, murders. It was low. It was low. It's like as soon as I left, it just like the percentages went sky high. You know, of course, you had the guys out here stealing cars. That's a given. Hell, they was stealing damn cars. I was in the projects. That's where I'm from. I'm from the streets. I'm from the projects.
What projects?
Para Home.
Oh,
Para Home,
shit.
Flipper Temple, Hollywood Court, Carver Homes. I had people staying out there. Hollywood Court. My aunt stayed out there. My other aunt stayed at Flipper Temple. Like, shit. My family, a couple of my cousins, they stole dope. I mean, I remember when the Miami boys came up here and thought they was going to try to take over. That was a lost cause because I even though they had rivalry, but when we had different cities coming up to Atlanta,
Yeah.
you saw it was a lot going on. They weren't play. It's just like it's like the Georgia boys got together and sent their ass right back home because they weren't having it.
Now, during this time period, well, I ain't even gonna do that. Now, all right, I ain't even gonna date you like that. I was raised, you'd say something that would have put the time on something, but I ain't even gonna do that. But all right, so let's come forward a little bit. So look, all right, so you actually you a Grady baby.
All day, twice on Sunday.
All right, so the outsiders, the gang investigators, you was there when they start popping up, all of them.
Yeah, I know Gabe Banks. Gabe was one of the ones that came in for bumpers. I think it is. Yeah.
From where?
What's her name? Attorney.
Oh, Bumpus.
Caleb Bumpers. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
seen
know
it?
Gabe. He came up to represent her. I know him too.
Ho. He came. Oh, all right. You know Gabe Banks.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
what about Viverito?
We don't know.
She might not have popped up in the DA's office. You might have been already gone.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right, hold on. What about Dennis and Gaither?
Oh hell no! I definitely don't know them.
Oh, they gang police. That's why. All right, never mind. You wouldn't be in a situation that really they ain't important enough
Yeah.
to be. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
Who else involved? So you got Fanny, Love, Hilton.
Hilton, I don't know her.
Yeah, I think
Now Stringer, I spoke with him when my dad case was being investigated. I remember talking to him. I went off on him too. They were taking too damn long.
All right. You said get back to Fanny. I mean, she worked around Fanny, but I mean, like she gave us the rundown on Fanny. She says you're not familiar with Fanny messing with Nut.
No. Mm-mm.
All right, that was the
No.
main
But
thing with
I
that.
but I have I was given the different stories about, just like little nips information on what was going on with her. And did it shock me? Hell yeah. But anybody can get shook if you don't pay attention. They can rock you to sleep. I get
Now,
it.
what's some of the things that you heard that you're available to speak on?
Well, just on that they know she was messing around with him, you know.
But it's just rumors.
Just rumors, yeah.
All right, but it is rumors. Now, hold on. Where was these rumors coming from?
People keep their ear to the ground.
Now, these is back then or current?
No, now current that I was just told. I
All
mean,
right.
I still have connections and people who I can talk to,
But you ain't hear this
and
back
say,
then, though.
hey, oh hell no.
All right, say less. All right, see, look, I'm gonna say this. In fact, I was saying that I don't think she messed with him. Now, one of the theories is she messed with the DJ dude, and the DJ was a DJ for the record label that was connected to him. So that
Well,
made more sense to me than her actually messing with him. But the internet just loved the idea that Fanny messed with Nut, and that's why she's doing this whole investigation. I never went for it.
it's kind of it does sound. I'm gonna just say it does sound stupid because she worked so hard and trying to be the next Fulton County DA. That's why I said I was so shocked because she went from being a defense attorney to coming back to Fulton County and being the DA running against Paul Howard. But Paul Howard was on his way out the door because he had so much going on, in which, I mean, her slip just showed anyway. I mean, like I said, when you're doing something like this and you going for Trump, you just have to be clean through and through, and dealing with the money situation and this dude Wade. Come on, sis, that's a conflict of interest. you know they're going to come for you. And that's why I was so disappointed, because Fani does have a lot of potential, and she is a smart female. But she was dumb with, I just say it was a dumb move messing with this guy, and you got him on this case. That wasn't smart.
Yeah. That wasn't smart, bringing that dude in on a play or giving him all that money under the table. That play was kind of, come on, baby. You could have been a little bit more discreet with it. You made it hot. I don't mind you doing it
Right.
because I believe that's a part of, and it come with the title, right? But
Absolutely.
you hot. Come
Absolutely.
on, baby girl.
But I think, Fani want to prosecute Trump, and rightfully so, because he did break the law. And it's sad that, nobody really wanted the case. So it's kind of like her back was against the wall. It's a catch-22.
Oh,
But at the same time, whatever that you're going to do, stop it. You should have cut that off, especially when I watched it. He was like, okay, the type of personality that he is, the guy, that he's the allegedly narcissist or whatever, but hell, she's the one that said it, that he's a narcissist. I would have dropped his ass in a heartbeat. Now, if you're going to continue friendship, okay, cool.
you talking about this
But when
bald
you
dude,
got
right?
somebody going against you, huh?
Talking about, what's his name? The bald dude, right?
Yeah, Wade.
Yeah.
I forget his last name. Yeah. I mean, you're going to do what you do. Okay, cool. That's fine. But when you get on the stand and you saying different things, I'm like, come on, Fani. Come on now, sis. It's too many single dudes out here.
I was thinking the same thing.
Had your fun with.
I really said that. I said that about Nut. I said, yo, it's too many guys, bro. Like, I ain't saying that, she wasn't interested in the dude, because I know, who knows. But it's a lot of dudes, and putting your career on the line for a guy is crazy once you get to a certain level in the career. Like, I ain't gonna lie, because you gotta be dedicated in certain power positions to get there.
Absolutely.
So I always gave her the benefit of the doubt. I said that on recording. Yo, I don't know if she would even jeopardize her career like that, messing with a street dude and you try and be a DA. That's more like that's movie type material. Not to say it won't happen, because we know it happens. But is we really putting that on this lady this time? I was like, I just thought it was more to the story. That was my idea.
I mean, you never can tell. You just never know. A lot of people on mute right now, because there's information. But I just feel like with everything blown up as is, I think it got blown up with her best friend, though, who was supposed to be her best friend. That wasn't a friend from the jump, especially, this girl gave you a job, she staying at your spot, and then, you go and blab on it. Now, that's the snitch right there. She snitched on her. That was supposed to be your girl. She looked out for you, you looked out for her, and you go back and you want to dog her out. That's really messed up. But, hey, it is what it is.
So when you were there for some of these, well, what year did you say you left?
Like in the beginning of 2015.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. So during the school scandal, Rico, what was the vibe? What was the vibes, man? What am I missing with that story?
Well, I'm gonna say now that was a biggie. That was a big ass case, and of course, Fani was on that case, and she was going for the gusto. Now she got some convictions, a lot of convictions, and some teachers held out. And I think I was told that some either got their job back or they just got probation or what have you. But the biggest thing is that somebody's wife was in it too, and then she was told to get out of the school system and did, all because of her last name, because she was in AP at school.
So during that time period, was it more political, or the teachers really dropped the ball? How you feel? Like, what was the temperature like as being a grown up during that time period, really watching what was going on?
I think in my opinion, I think it was both. Because let's be clear, the cheating been going on for years. I don't know if it was going on where you from, but I know me being in school, a lot of kids got pushed through, and I remember teachers helping us. Shit, that was cheating then,
Right.
you know. And in this day and age, you know, people looking at the scores. I think if the kids passed, the school system got something out of it, and the ball got dropped. Somebody snitched and told that this was going on, that teachers were guiding the kids so that they can pass. But I think a lot of people tend to forget, you know, what was going on before.
Now,
You know, so
those teachers didn't actually get penalized as much as it appeared at first. Like it seemed like they got hit heavy-handed, but in the long run, it actually panned out not that bad.
yeah, some teachers got hit hard in the beginning,
Hmm.
and then once the smoke and dust settled, you know, the ones who held on for a while, they just got the ladder slapped on the wrist, if you will.
Okay.
I don't think that they got penalized like the other teachers did.
So it was more of a show for media.
Could have been
Well,
because
not maybe a
what's
show.
her name?
It looked bad in media. Let me say that.
Yeah, the superintendent at that time, I think her Beverly Hall, I think her last name, what it is. She actually passed away before she got sentenced.
Yeah, I seen that. The documentary. Yeah. I seen that.
Yeah, I remember seeing her when I used to work the elections, and I actually met her and her husband, and I didn't know that she was sick. But bless her heart, she wound up passing away.
All right. What's your What's your impression of the Red Dogs, and what stories do you have based on the Red Dogs?
Well, keep in mind that I remember seeing them. Keep in mind I was in the projects
Right.
and I was young, and they were thick. Oh my God, they will beat your ass. They was they would come out there in the projects. They would be on the roof, in the trees, and they didn't care. I remember one girl, she was selling dope. She was pregnant, and they body slammed her in the ass in the street. They were rough. They did. They picked her ass up and body slammed her in the street. I remember a guy had drugs on him, and they used to come in ice cream trucks,
Who?
and they came. We were sitting outside on the steps.
The Red Dogs came in an ice cream truck?
Yeah, they didn't matter.
Yeah.
They was out there thick. They was
Yeah.
out there in Kim the Coat real thick, and they made Buddy drop his pants, his drawers in broad daylight, and bent his ass over to him to open up his ass and cough because they thought
Yeah.
he had the dope up his ass.
Yeah. Spread them and cough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now I remember that. It was deep. It was thick.
Real stop and frisk. That's the official
Oh hell yeah.
stop and strip.
But you know what? Some of them was crooked too, because where Kimberly is a lot of woods by the railroad track.
Yeah.
And they would take some of the guy. They just take his dope and his money and beat his ass and leave him in the street. Some of them they'll beat the hell out of you and take you to jail.
Right.
So I mean,
Now, when you start working in the DA's office, did you come across these cases? The Red Dogs is starting to be dismantled, or they got dismantled before you even got in there working?
I think it was dismantled by the time I got in there. Shit, I was like 24 years old, 23, 24 when I started.
Okay. So
So
you seen some police corruption from some of these types of undercovers, though.
not really. Not really.
Okay. It get bust down before it make it into the DA's office.
It could have, but you know, the cases that, like I said, we was processing cases, and I'm reading and looking at some of the cases where if it was a child molestation or child abuse or murder, feticide cases, all of that there, stuff like that, we will look at the photos and look at the cases and stuff like that and find out what's going on with the case before the actual paralegal, the secretary, come and get them and take them to court and stuff like that. A lot of shooting cases, stuff like that. As some of the cases, I would even go to court. If it interests me, I would go sit in the courtroom and just take a sneak peek of what was going on.
What's one of the wildest cases you sat in on? Or do you remember?
I remember one case where the boyfriend, he beat the girlfriend, went in and shot some of the family members. He came in the house, and the girlfriend, the mother, the cousin shot them and shot her in the ass. I'll never forget that. So she tried to run. I think the mom got shot. They was laying in the bedroom, and they showed pictures and stuff like that. But the only case that really took it hit home was my own family member. I got a family member that's in prison right now. My uncle blamed it on him because he was mentally gone, and it was over regarding drugs. And one of the girls who was on drugs, she was pregnant, and he wound up killing her, and the baby died. So they put him in prison for feticide, murder, shit like that. So I've seen it all.
All right. So
Yep.
the way the trial is going, let's come back to, you been paying attention to the trial? Like the whole trial?
Every day.
All right. You feel like they guilty?
I'm going to say it like this. Me being on both sides, because I work for a defense attorney as well. Did they get into some mischief? Hell yeah. Did they do a lot of shit? Yeah. However, I feel like I'm still looking for RICO.
Okay.
I don't see it.
That's fair.
I do not see it. I do not see a conviction on Thug at all. I don't see that coming. He got the best damn 2024 dream team I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Of course, we all Shannon Stillwell. I mean, he got his other convictions, but I don't see them losing this trial. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think because Love wanted so bad, she wanted so bad. I'm like, damn, did you want to lay up with him or something? I mean, what type of animosity you got over this case? Of course, she has a job to do.
Yeah, but she has seemed like she took it a little bit personal.
A little bit. That's that's underrated right there. She has taken this personal.
Yeah.
You don't supposed to do that. You're supposed to do your job.
Over prosecuting.
And I think she needs to be reprimanded for it. It's just, this case here is so corrupt. This is the worst I've ever seen. I told my attorney, who I used to work for, and he's my attorney, and he trained me on a lot. That's why I'm so hard for the defense. I just don't see it. I mean, this whole case is built by hearsay. Now, the only thing that I can say, if them knuckleheads didn't run their damn mouth, we wouldn't even be in this position. But because they so smart, they're stupid. And everything is on social media. Everything is recorded. That's how a case is even brought about.
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, when we were coming up, we didn't have all of this at all.
Mm-hmm.
You had a cell phone, but it was nothing recorded. If you didn't have all this social media shit, man, that case would have been thrown out.
Oh, let me play devil's advocate though. That same thing that they're using in the courtroom to vilify him is the same thing that made Young Thug famous. Real rap. It's really the marketing tools that made people the street trolling that YSL was doing on social media is what propelled him into fame. It's a part of it. You feel me? Because he was basically he used all of this. Now, me understanding marketing, I see what he was doing. They trolling on that jump.
Right.
We in Georgia. We allowed to have pistols. Niggas is running around shooting up houses. Niggas ain't really stepping. Because if we was, we wouldn't be waving these joints on camera. So
Right.
I think the fact that they played that line, they getting taken advantage of because it's like it's a gray area right there. Are they serious? They look like they really could be street thugs, but that's where my argument of, well, technically Young Thug really fits the aesthetic of being a rock star more than a real street kid. And he has since the beginning. So
Right. I mean, because keep in mind, not to cut you off, keep in mind, he's from the Jonesboro South.
Right.
Now, was it ratchet and fucked up over there? Yes, it was. It's over there by Carver Homes. I mean, you know, all of that. I'm used to that. I mean, if they didn't know you, you got your ass whooped. You had to have somebody to say that they knew you, and that's every project. So, granted, I get it, but at the same time, he was doing it for the right reason, but for the wrong reason, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get
Because
it.
he had to put himself out there. Now, did he get himself out there? Oh, hell yeah, he blew
Hell
up.
yeah.
But I told my best friend the other day,
It's a gift and a
in
curse.
a way, it is. And on another aspect, I'm going to say this personally, this is just my opinion. I'm happy Thug got locked up. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because it's to make him see where his life, where it was, where it is, and where it's going. Because using all of those drugs, we will have a burial that will have his name and everybody wearing his face on the shirt. Get off these damn drugs. Make your money.
Hold on. So
And
you saying this being locked up saved his life from overdosing?
I think so. Because people giving you bad shit. They're poisoning. They're poisoning each other. They're out here
True.
getting high, and we don't know what they're putting in this stuff. It went from, if you think about it, like my family, you know, they smoke weed. I don't. Shit, I drink. But weed is not what it used to be.
Nah.
People lacing, they popping pills. You don't know what you ingesting. They want to put shit in brownies and cookies just to get high. Damn, how high you want to be? And it's overrated. It went from, if you remember, I forget the dude's name. They made this song "Sipping on Some Scissor." They did their thing. It went from drinking this shit to now they call it lean, and then they popping pills. They taking all of the prescriptions. You think about it, it was epidemic where people was breaking in the damn drugstores just to get the pills, just to get high.
Now
people buying painkillers.
Let me ask you this though. Since this drug culture been prevalent for so long, like it's been going on for strong, like since way back, right? People wanting to step away from, you know, reality and kind of, you know, their regular day and zone out. I'm talking about it go back to, you know, even the housewives was popping pills, you know, they kind of was some of the first ones to get into this pill stuff when you look into the culture, right? But look, I'm gonna step back from it and ask you, why you think, what's going on in society to make everybody want to step away from they conscious day-to-day life and go into this zone? Because we seen it right here in this YSL case, but it's prevalent all the way back. Like we could go, like I ain't really in the history, but I'm gonna tell y'all, it's solid for the last 60 to 70. Solid. So what's going on in society that would make so many people want to detach, including kids? Now, all right, look, I'm gonna tell y'all, you got different kids. You got experimental kids who just want to see what's going on, so they'll jump out there and take some drugs. Then you got some people that really want to detach. What's going on with people that want to detach, y'all? And it seems like the amount of people that's willing to indulge in what we got going on now is a downer style of detaching, which is no, I'm gonna have to say the uppers are going on, but the downers, well, when you talk about somebody with a habit nowadays and we talk about people overdosing, we talking about opioid addiction. Straight like that. What's making people want to go into that attachment, y'all? That detachment from society. Sorry for the long question. Compound.
I don't. We're in court today. Objection. Compound. I don't know. A lot of it. I'm gonna just say curiosity, and with this reality, what people see is like it's the case of the monkey see, monkey do. They want to try and see how it feels. So they mess around and they get their first high, something that they have never felt before. They keep chasing and chasing and chasing. And it's like they see people, they say, well, this person is, I'm gonna look at them as an idol.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because if you think about it, I'm gonna go back just a little tad for you. When Lil Wayne first came out, he didn't have all them tattoos on him. Like tattoos became the epidemic, and then all of a sudden, everybody you see tattoos everywhere.
Facts.
And as a child, if you think about it, the only ones that really had tattoos are the one that was in prison. And
barely though.
Military.
No, ho. Barely though. Nobody had a sleeve. Nobody had a continuous tattoo, y'all. I'm telling you, it was not a thing.
Absolutely. It wasn't a thing. Like I'm saying, you only had a very few that had a tattoo, whether it was on their arm, their forearm, or what have you, and you either military or they was in prison.
Yeah.
They had a tattoo, no more than two. However, now getting tattoos all over your body and adding your face.
The face is just crazy. Clearly,
it's bananas. I told my children, don't you do that shit. If you get a tattoo, get it where you can cover it up.
Facts.
Because your ass don't want a career. Fuck a job. I'm talking about a career.
Yep.
So, it's like it went from that to the drug thing, and everybody want to get high, and it's just an experiment. And that experiment, it becomes a habit to a heavy addiction. And some people can shake it, some cannot. And they figured, that this is going to bring them popularity. For what reason, I don't know. It's just like the ass epidemic. Why my sisters want to get their ass blown up. I'm one to tell you, I was born with mine, and that shit hurt my backside. It hurts the lower part of my back, just like somebody with big boobs. It hurts their chest.
Hold on, so you
shoulders. I'm sorry.
So you said you got a blonde wig and your back hurt from your tail.
Oh,
whoa!
Boo don't do wigs. But I don't know nothing about wigs. No hate, no shade to the females, my sisters that get weaves, extensions, none of that. I don't do it. That's just not my vibe, man. You talk about my lashes, then I'm guilty of that. But other than that, no, I don't do all of that. But to see a female looking like look like two basketballs on chicken legs.
Yeah.
I mean, just dead wrong. And I see my sister, I just shake my head. I'm like, y'all don't even understand the backlash that you would get, not just from people looking at you, but I'm talking about years down the line. We talking 20 and 30 years. What's going to happen?
Oh no, the word coming back. The word coming back. It's two things that's happening. So the surgeries is getting more high tuned, but the need for it is starting to lay back because the dudes is on some old, they ain't even really tripping. So I think it's ready to go back natural. I called it in the beginning. I said, you know what? I said, bro, it's starting to get out of hand. So I'm thinking technically, because there's a lot of dudes that's like, yo, that ain't even like, come on, bro. It's just overboard at this point.
It's overrated. Let me tell you, I laughed about it. I said, now, you got females going to these places and it's like a rent-to-own ass. You go and you start making payments. I said, well, what happens if you don't make your payment?
I mean, you can't get the tune-up. If you ain't got a couple dollars, you can't afford keeping up because you're going to have to go get it retuned at some point.
So you're going to be looking toe all the hell up.
But it's more about living for the moment. It's more about the quick turnover, like hustling. The streets is the same way. Because it's a turnover for the, put yourself in danger for the short amount of time. You can get to the bag and you'll deal with the consequences later. I ain't gonna lie, it's a thing.
I mean, and it's short change, because if you think about it, back in the day when dudes out there hustling and selling weed, selling crack, selling powder, selling pills, whatever that they were doing, back then they made that money. They sell out, re-up, and start the whole weekend. The weekend was the thing that folks got high. Now it's a nigga standing on the street, and it was about the corner. You're not finna have nobody new coming to my corner. That's where you got the shooting and the fighting. But this has taken a whole nother level at this point. And if you out here getting shot up for some damn weed, come on, dude, something ain't right. And a lot of brothers you think about, they was making the money, but they was too stupid to do right with the money so they could profit. Because people think that you can sell dope for 20, 30 years, you can retire and get a fucking pension. No, you are fucking crazy. You're going to get time in prison now. Because it has worn itself out. It's not what it used to be. So that's how I look at it.
Right.
It's not paying the bills. You walk around here and selling dope and your car towed the fuck up. And you ready for somebody to come pick you up? Dude, really? We had a female and she was bad selling dope. I'm talking about, that's the first broad I ever seen put diamonds in her teeth. She did her thing. But what happens afterwards? My dad used to sell dope, and he used to work for Sunbeam.
Ooh.
My daddy sold it all. But then he got caught up. It's not what it used to be.
All right.
So,
we didn't get to capitalize off of the drugs like we should have. Some other communities seem like they capitalized and rolled over more than some of us, including the Spanish community. Straight up, if y'all pay attention. I'm talking about, bro, they rolling guys over. They rolling people over from illegitimate business to legitimate. Straight up, y'all. I'm talking about, bro, we sleeping. They rolling guys over, man. Straight in our face, man. Y'all be at the light. Y'all thought Holmes got that from carpentry, from flipping house. Nah. Nah. Nah.
What was the movie that I forget? What's the guy name that played Pinky? He played in the other movie where they were selling dope, and he told them why they was out there, buying materialistic shit and not taking the money that they make from selling dope. Make sure you have an attorney on hand, so if anything happened, you can get out. I forget the name of the movie.
Well, I could explain that part. Most people don't cross the threshold of saving like that. Like the average drug dealer out there, y'all, is day-to-day in it. I'm telling y'all, like most of the drug traffic on the street level, like the kind you can see, that's like it's unorganized, unstructured. They stragglers. They in and out. They not really up, so they go on runs, little quick runs, and the people that is up facilitate these people. Like by, they front him some work when he cool, you know what I mean? Then he get locked up again because he got caught. Now, so what happens is these people ain't never really got no kitty where they got, first off, lawyers ain't that cheap. So when you talking about you got lawyer money or bail money, we talking about you really got $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 put up. These niggas ain't got it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be front line on the street. Straight up, they'll be able to cop some weight. And once you cop weight, you don't even want to be out on the front line of the street. You driving around in cars or you put up. You feel me? So unless you orchestrating a whole bunch of people in that, that ain't gonna you can't really be outside doing that for so long. Like if you really outside hands-on orchestrating a operation, right? And it only take a couple months for you don't need to be there no goddamn more. Straight like that.
Exactly.
So when y'all see the people that don't got this access, which is majority of the people, they the people who can't catch on to this because they loose. All right, I'm going to explain to y'all. Some people don't try to evade the law. Like, all right, you got some people who literally do crime and just get caught whenever the luck of the draw. Like they not going to run. Like if y'all notice with Woody and certain people that keep getting locked up and hemmed up by the law, bro. Niggas supposed to be running for their motherfucking lives in certain situations. You not catching where I'm at, bro. Guys is getting busy off break. If we got work, guns, any of this, bro. Everybody getting busy. Like I'm talking full throttle running. Like you feel me? Because who wants another court date? So when you catch somebody
Right.
that keep winding up in that process, bro, it's certain people they meant to go in and out of jail, y'all. Real rap. They
I
just
mean,
part
because
of the
when
cycle.
you I'm sorry for cutting you off, but
No, you
when
didn't.
you know, as a man, you know how streets run. So when you doing your thing, you supposed to have a mission, and your mission is to get in and to get enough and get out. Whereas
Right.
people get too complacent and too greedy. I mean, because you do have some, they make enough money to do what they got to do, get their cars or homes or whatever that they do, or a business. I have seen some of them do that. They get in it and they got out of it. Did they get caught? Yeah, here and there, but they also had a secret bag that didn't tell nobody. We people, we talk too damn much, and we're too loud.
Most of them don't got
So
a exit plan. I'm gonna keep it real, and I was one of them. If it wasn't for the music, nah, I ain't. I'm capping. I would have did something because I was into the multiple options. But hold on, that's a mean ass transition. Let me explain. You could easily fumble the bag. I'm talking about, bro. You could run up, like, say, all right, say for instance, I'm young, 16, 17, boom. I jump out the gate, it's already banging in my neighborhood. I done seen this type shit happen. Boom. Little nigga just stay silent, run up the bag. He only 19, got the bag. 100 put up, and I'm still current active right now, right? Now, if yo take this 100 and try to explore into the business world with no knowledge, I ain't gonna lie. You feel me? And then look, who do you go to really get the formula? The streets gonna tell you go cop again. It's rare you got a guy around that you could trust and tell that I got a couple put up. I'm trying to start a business. You feel me? So it really be a gap right there. I'm gonna keep it fucking real. It's a lot of man. I done seen guys who literally tell me, yo, I got such and such put up, and I look at him like, yo, won't you? He just keep running the play over. He ain't really spending money on clothes or none of that shit. He don't buy cars. Yo, just save up a whole bunch of bread. Don't invest it. Next, I didn't look. Hold on, I didn't seen dudes go up like that, and then I didn't seen them where as though they back regular. And he like, yo, I ran through all that, bro. Real shit. Not fucking it up though, just living life like regular without, I just stopped hustling for a minute and just ran through all the bread I had saved up. So he wound up doing nothing with a whole. You understand what I'm saying? Seriously.
mhm.
And these dudes who ain't dumb though, but it's still, what do you do? Sometimes it's hard to make that move because it ain't nobody to walk you in. Now, say you got a family, or uncle or something that already got a career, he done already went through it. Yeah, he could put you on. Look, yo, you want to do this? Woo, 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 woo. But other than that, yo, them boys are scared, y'all, because they not. We don't groom ourselves to be knowledgeable in business in as our regular language. Let me say that. So like it be really a jump, like you stepping off the porch when you go into the let me start a business that'll turn into profit. I ain't gonna lie, even though niggas is lucrative hustlers, yeah, niggas know the one would buy a truck. Yeah, that's the one that niggas be telling, yo, just get you a truck, turn into a truck driver, or get you some trucks and let other dudes drive them. That's one or a barber shop.
That's
These
what
is
you call, in my opinion, what Buddy said, guns and butter. And that's a lot of things that people don't realize. And at this day and age, all I see is the young folk. They get the money and they go buy all the materialistic things. But what happens afterwards? Because you're gonna get older. Which direction are you gonna go? And I just instilled it in my kids to get a job, get something that's gonna have some type of value, especially when you have kids. And I don't want to go too deep with it, but it's all about us trying to live and trying to make things happen. Like I say, I don't knock what nobody do, but if you just steal penny pinching and I don't see nothing, that's a problem. You need to do something else.
some people
But
like the lifestyle. They
yeah,
like
they do.
being out there.
Yeah, but
I
these
ain't really
streets is
with it.
not what it used to be though. It's just not, and that's it goes back to YSL case. You got these children. And when I say children, I mean I'm 51 and I've seen it. I'm still considered young, but I've seen a lot coming up. And I don't see anybody profiting from anything. There's no money on the table. I don't see nobody with a whole bunch of money. All I see is people fighting, people getting killed over some bullshit. That's all I see. The only one that got a couple of dollars, and that's because he got a career that he has going on. And everybody else, where in the hell are the Indians out here? I don't see no chiefs. All I see is a whole bunch of young knuckleheads out here who can barely read, who can barely write, and can't comprehend shit. That's all I see. And it's sad that you got people like Love who monopolize on their intelligence. You know they don't know the legal language.
Facts.
They don't understand these words that you're saying. I'm like, oh my God. I'm one of the ones I'd be so mad I'd be ready to spit in this bitch face because you want to dog out these children who have no guidance, never had any. And my heart broke when I saw Woody's interview and I looked into his eyes and I heard his story. I hate it for him. I really do, because he has to look over his shoulder for the rest of his life. But I do understand where he's coming from, how he was brought up, what led him to these streets, and why he is the way that he is. Because to me, he has a good person on the inside of his soul. But sometimes we can't help it from where we come from. And he do for people. Some people do it from the heart. Some people do it from the ass. I truly believe that he does it from the heart.
Oh, that the heart or the ass?
You know what I'm saying.
I like that.
I'm just saying, because people do stuff just to say, I did it for you.
No, don't change. Don't change.
That's the Diddy shit, so I don't want to go there.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
I mean, I truly believe that, God bless him. But I just, I truly understand, because sometimes people don't have a choice. When you lose your parents at a very early age and you don't know nothing, but you look at the outside world as your family, and regardless to what, this is what you trying to do in life. I think everybody want to come out of that rabbit hole, meaning being down, not having nothing, living in the projects, want to come up out of, want to live better. People do what they have to do to get what they got to get.
That's a fact.
I've seen that kind with Zachary being on the stand, and I look at this child who's sickly, has a killer disease, which is sickle cell. He can't help it, but things can really happen to him, and he has street sense, but he don't have common sense. He damn sure don't have book sense, and they just go by what they see and they learn it, and how far it takes them. They don't go too far with it. The rest of the guys, I don't know.
I mean, what we watching is now they in their 30s. To be catching on at 30 or mid-20s is kind of weird. I'm going to keep it real, y'all. So, like, what you right, like, we are seeing education play a factor. And I don't mean school education, total capacity. Like, all right, even if you don't get your whole education from the state, right? Meaning you finish high school, right? Some people still got the capacity to finish high school. They might have got shorted. Like, some people might think, I could have actually finished high school. All right.
Right.
In comparison to some people that made it to the same damn grade as me. That's why I always jump out there and say it. Yo, don't sleep. I got a 9th grade education. Don't sleep when we hear these boys say this. Cause like I don't consider myself. I was like, I really want y'all to, like, I'm not saying it like on some old like You know, like I feel like, nah, I ain't no feel like. All my peers is just like these people in court, y'all. Like these timelines and storylines. Like, you feel me? Like, so, and I'm one of them. I just took a well, no, a similar, my route is similar because I was trying to get in the music industry. I just ain't a rapper. So, like, technically, I fit in this storyline. And yeah, I'm more active than the average person in this YSL, to be honest. I told y'all, if the Ricos was coming out, we definitely could have went down in some shit, for real. Straight up. We just wasn't no gang. It came later, and by then we was grown. So, luckily, we missed the train by a couple years. I told y'all, I said this numerous times. I said, yo, the younger guys that was, like the set of guys that's underneath me, the gang shit hit them. My age bracket actually missed it because we had kind of crossed into the threshold of already being who we was. So it was kind of weird for us to join, but the shit hit so hard, it did impact all of the people kind of behind me. Real rap. I literally watched it. So, like, if you come to my age bracket in my city, you'll see a whole bunch of dudes that's my age that's either like really the first tier big homies, or they little homies is in the gang. You feel me? They ain't in, but they little homies is all on in the end. You feel me? Type shit.
Right, right. I just feel like, there's. I talked to my best friend. I told her, I said, well, it's not many kids that have these ingredients, and I tell my children, and I thank God that my kids have these. You have to have book sense, common sense, and street sense. If you don't have those ingredients, it can take somebody that will rock your ass to sleep.
I mean,
Straight up, because you got some kids who are so sheltered and
yeah.
so naive. When you and I told my son, you can't keep my grandchildren sheltered because they're gonna go off to college, and it's gonna take somebody to take advantage of you if you don't have that common knowledge, that street knowledge.
But look, though, you can't give them. You don't want to indulge too much because then it turned into you grooming. So where the line?
Well,
You feel me? Like, where the
well,
line that of keeping them like, look, I don't want to not tell you nothing. So look, this what it is. But don't take your
right.
dumb ass out there and jump up. You feel me? So it's like, it's a weird line, y'all. I'm telling you. I didn't look at different examples. I know some people who I didn't watch, one of my homeboys where his people's is more aggressive with, telling them not to do stuff, and they more, they nurturing and all of these types of things. And he wanna go
Well,
do
yeah.
wilder shit because they hold him back. Then I take
Kids gonna
myself
get
for an
out there
example.
and do it, but at the same time, I tell you, like right here, post it. You talking to a woman. I have book sense. I went to college, but I did not finish college.
Hmm.
I grew up in the projects. I lived my first apartment. I think I was 17 years old. Right before I turned 18, I had my first apartment living. I stayed in McDaniel. I stayed in Mechanicsville.
Hmm.
489 Whitehall Terrace. I stayed right there in the hood. That's where I was at. And you talking to someone who has a professional background. My first ever career was working in the DA's office, and I know so many attorneys, so many judges, took my children around them, and my kids still had that street teaching, if you will.
Right.
So they have that mixture, and they know what not to do. Have family members on drugs, in and out of jail, and a mother who busts her ass, single mother, mind you,
Yeah.
that still have the capability. My daughter told me to this day, she says, Mama, you are the police because you know everybody. You're right. I still know I still know so many people, so many attorneys who turned into judges, like
Right.
Shakur Ingram, who the case went to. I know her.
Yeah.
She would have rocked the shit out of this case. Because of her conflict of interest, she chose not to take this case.
Right.
You have to have that mixture, that balance.
I think that's the best of both worlds, because even the rich families they consider to run their kids through some type of stress test before allowing them, because they believe it's going to degrade the bloodline. So it's some type of theory with, if you got long money, right? If you leave the money to your people behind you, meaning your kids and the grandkids, right? But on the strength of you to ran up so much goddamn bread, they gonna fuck the money up.
Right.
They ain't went through no fuckery. They ain't seen no struggle. You done laid this foundation so strong, they not gonna have no perception of the bullshit and the struggle, right? So you gotta create
Mhm.
some type of in-family process to show them how real it is, or they gonna mess the bag up and you can't even let them live in luxury. So it's a double-edged sword.
Right. It is. It is. It truly is. But overall, I'm really pushing for this case to be over with. I'm excited to see. I'm anticipating rather to see what Steele and Adams and all of the rest of the badass crew, what they kick off for the rest of this case. Um, yeah, I think they're gonna show out when the defense take over, when the prosecution rests, because they really don't have nobody on the list that's coming up next. And I haven't even looked at it, and you haven't put your list up, the witness list posted, to see who we have left that's coming up on the mound.
She said the other day that there's some people missing off the list that she reintroduced, but it's nobody real heavy that I didn't see. I
Mm-mm.
mean, I was going over it recently, but it's nobody. If you ask me,
Yeah,
it's nobody that's real heavy coming up. I gotta find a
no,
witness
it's
list.
just a shitload of the CSI and police officers. That ain't
Facts.
shit. Cause
That's
hell, them
all.
don't even damn remember they ain't gonna be in there for 2-3 minutes, and
So
then
we
they out of there unless you get love to want to stretch it. For what reason I don't know, but other than that, I'm excited to see who the defense bring on the stand and see how they gonna rock it. But I'm
go-
still gonna be. I'm getting ready to pull out and take my ass home before this storm get ready to come back. 'Cause it's still, of course, raining here. So I'm gonna still be on your stream
all right.
just to let you know. But
Uh,
we can chop it up again. I
yeah,
don't have no
I
problem
got
with
your
that.
number. I'm gonna make sure I call
Yeah.
you. You linked in. So I appreciate you pulling up. Everybody say bye to Shannon. We gonna call her back on another day. She came through and gave us some info though. She a real Grady baby too. You know what I mean? From Perry Homes.
Oh.
Don't forget. Straight up. I
Yeah.
remember.
Look, I did peek in to see somebody asking some questions about me or whatever, but I'll still be in the chat. And I can answer any questions or whatever. I'm gonna have my earpiece in, still listening to you or whatever. But as soon as I touch down at home, if everything is still running smooth, then I'll just probably call you back or whatever. But I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you
Talk
for
to you.
pulling
I
up too.
really enjoyed it. Finally had a chance to holler at you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So we'll chop it up as soon as I get home. Take me maybe like 20 minutes to get home.
Okay.
All right, in a minute.
All right. Yo, that was Shannon, y'all. Straight up. The audio was cool. Y'all gotta let me know about the audio because I gotta switch my mic over when I be doing that. Y'all gotta let me know. My mic cool. I'm on my other mic right now. Audio was cool. All right, so that's my phone call set up. That was a cool little interview. I appreciate it. Since her background was so vast, she opened up a wild door. So since she's from Atlanta and grew up where she grew up and worked where she worked, it gave us a wild window. Like I don't know if y'all noticed that. Like she kept opening different doors, so it was like whoa. So that's why I was able. Um, she familiar with people involved in the case. She worked with some of the people in the DA's office. I didn't pry into, exactly what she worked in. I mean, she ain't worked in the office for 9 years. She basically says she stopped in 2015. So, you know, I ain't want to get. I mean, what I ain't really want to pry into no cases specifically. I don't have no interest in, that part. She says she worked in the office, from 9/7 to 2015. So she familiar with a lot of the players. working around him. And she know Fani, so I wasn't going to pry into her personal relationship with her. Like, you feel me? It's like I kind of consider friend or, like anything that you know about somebody, like that's kind of, I'm going to let the person kind of give you what they can. I'm not ready to pry into, some dirt about Fani. If you notice, I ain't, I ain't going to do that. I know the opportunity kind of came up like, oh, Fani? Yeah, I know. Some of y'all was thinking like, yo, nah, I mean, I gave y'all what y'all look for with the nut. Yo, did you ever heard anything? That's the best I could do for y'all. That's the best I could do, y'all. I don't really, yeah, you feel me? I ain't really, what's the dirt? She was sleeping around and all. Nah, I ain't, nah. You mean? Yeah. I was more interested in like, I mean, she watching the YSL trial from a weird position. I guess she kind of got like she got a different angle at watching it because she worked around some of the people. She worked in the DA's office. She from Atlanta, so she got a different angle on it, y'all, watching the trial. But she ain't worked in the office since 2015. So she watching as a viewer now. But like she said, she got family members, she got a trial involving one of her family members that's coming up. So yeah, that's interesting too. Yo, I've been meaning to call her. She gave me, and I remember that she said she worked. I ain't know she worked in that DA's office, y'all. Just to let y'all know. Yeah, I thought she was. I took it as she worked in a DA's office, not Fulton County. Real rap. So that made it even. Who else testifying? Y'all gonna have to help me get a new witness list, y'all. Where's the newest witness list? Can somebody help me? Because I've been using this old one. I would love to see some type of updated one. Real rap. I'm scared to go looking, y'all, because if I go looking, y'all, it's just going. Searching for this information for this trial is I don't even know what to call it. This might be the fastest amount of information to flood the internet at this capacity. Seriously, bro, it's a lot of goddamn data once you start searching about this trial or something, y'all. Like, Google got their job cut out. They're gonna have to cut some of that shit out. Lil D from 30 Deep is not on the current witness list. But Miss Love was mentioning his name at the beginning, like he was going to tell. She did use his name in the opening statement. But she was using it as if you're going to hear that such and such said. I believe she was saying it like that. I don't know if he's going to testify, but he ain't on the witness list. I don't think it don't matter if anybody from YSL pull up. Nobody can say, I mean, first off, they can't say Thug did it. They got to say Thug told us, which is still a reach. It's hearsay from somebody in Fulton County Blue. You see the gap? You see the gap? No money either. A money would have been like, okay, yeah, there's no way to explain how Holmes was rocking around with goddamn a Ferrari and damn, you know what I mean, 2 mansions. And yeah, he had to have been the guy that, you feel me? We ain't got that. First off, dude's only getting 100,000 for dudes that's way more important than Nut. First off. So if it was a paper trail, I mean, Nut Homie is worth about 10 racks. To be honest. And if Dolph is 100, Nut worth 10 racks tops. Which wouldn't, you can't even throw that in a strip club, man. Can't even throw that in a strip club, man. Straight up, man. Yo, 10 racks spend fast as shit when you round niggas is partying. I don't know if y'all know. You busting that down. You ain't got fly before for real, or you don't be having things. Nigga, one trip in the mall, you ready cut that. You ready chop that 10. You better not go to the club tonight in the strip club, and you wanted to always make it rain. Oh, he ready, watch what he ready do. That boy ready regret the night. He gonna act the ass. Oh, he rolling? He high? Oh my God. What? What? 10K and he rolling. That shit gone. It's gone before you had it. Gone. Yo, you can spend 10,000 while you high in a city like, man. They gave a young boy in the jail 100K. If it was a clean one, if they wanted it real clean, it would have been 250. No, I think they could have got that done clean for. They could have got that done for cheap, clean. Got some people who don't stardom don't do like if they don't know you, everything's fair. Real rap.